Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again today. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make homemade sushi. So this is super duper easy and really fun to make, and I think you guys are just going to absolutely love this recipe. So for the recipe, we're going to be using some sushi rice. We're going to use some soy sauce, sugar, and mirin to make an eel sauce. We're going to be using some seaweed papers or nori, some fresh avocado, some smoked salmon, some smoked ahi tuna, imitation crab, rice wine vinegar, sesame seeds. We have black and white sesame seeds, a couple tablespoons of sugar, and some sushi ginger. All right, you guys, so we're just going to start by making our eel sauce. So I'm just adding in a half of a cup of sugar into a really small sauce pot. And then I'm adding in some soy sauce, and I think that was a half a cup as well, but you guys, the video, the exact measurements will be down in the video description. And then we're also adding in some mirin, and then I'm just whisking this up, and I'm just going to put this on a really nice low heat, probably about a medium low, and just let it kind of simmer and reduce until it reduces by about half and it becomes really nice and thick. So you can see it there. You want it to be simmering just about like this. Let it keep going until it reduces. It will get there. All right, and then we're adding in 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of salt into a 1/4 cup of rice wine vinegar. And we're going to use this liquid to add it into our sushi rice. This is going to help the rice to get really sticky and just give it that nice flavor. So I just cooked my rice in a rice cooker, and I just cooked it just like you would cook regular white rice. So I just put it on the white rice setting. I did add a little bit less water than normal rice, but you can see it's already very sticky as it is. So I'm just going to add in a couple tablespoons. I think I put 3 tablespoons in here, and this was just 1 cup of sushi rice that I cooked. And this made 2 sushi rolls, just to let you guys know you'll need. And I do think I added a little bit too much rice, so you could probably get 3 sushi rolls out of this 1 cup of rice. So you just want to mix that up really well. Just get that all nice and combined into your rice. This is a really great summertime recipe because you don't really have to cook anything unless you guys obviously wanted to make like a baked sushi, or if you wanted to cook any of your ingredients. But all you have to do is use your rice cooker, so this is a great recipe for the summertime. All right, and then I'm just going to cut my crab up into strips. So I'm just going to cut it a little bit thinner than it is now. So just cutting these in half. I'm going to set those aside. And then I am using a smoked ahi tuna. So this is not raw tuna, but it does have a raw tuna texture. But it is a lot easier to find this. And it's also a lot safer to work with because it's not completely raw. It is smoked, but it has a great texture and a really great flavor, and it worked out perfectly for the sushi. But you guys can use any combination of veggies and different types of fish that you guys want to. So I'm just going to cut this into little pieces. Just keep in mind that if you are using smoked fish, that it tends to be a little bit salty. And so just keep that in mind. Not that you would really want to add a lot of salt into sushi anyway, but just keep it in mind. Maybe use like a low sodium soy sauce or something, or just taste it before you add your soy sauce on there. So, all right. And this tuna is beautiful. I got this at Trader Joe's. It was really great. And it already has a little sesame seeds on the top of that. So I liked that a lot too. And then I'm also using the smoked salmon. So there's 2 different types of smoked salmon. One of them looks like this. So this is more of like a lox smoked salmon, where it has that raw type of texture. And then there is also another smoked salmon that's a lot more flaky, sort of like a tuna. They would probably both be good, but this is more of a sushi type of a salmon. So I really liked it with this type of salmon. All right, and then we're just going to set that aside. And then you guys want to use your little sushi roller thingy. And I think they did this upside down the first time. But you want to wrap it up in some saran wrap just to keep it from getting too dirty. Okay, and then we're going to start with the rough side of the seaweed. So you'll see the one side is really smooth and the other side is a little bit rough. You want to put your rice on the rougher side, okay? And then I'm just going to go ahead and just put some rice down on the rice paper here, or I'm sorry, on the seaweed paper. I'm just kind of getting it just around. You guys will definitely want to have a small bowl of water handy because the rice is so sticky and it's nearly impossible to work with without using this water. So just keep it close so that it doesn't stick to your fingers and it makes your job a heck of a lot easier. So I'm just going to press the rice down just to get it nice and compacted in there, just a nice thin layer of rice. You guys could even probably cut these sushi, I keep saying sushi. You guys could even probably cut these seaweed papers in half and get 2 rolls out of each one. Like I said, mine were kind of big, but this was the first time. This was actually like the 3rd time I made sushi. But it is something that's new to me. So it's, you know, cooking is just a learning process as it is anyway. So, all right. And then I'm just filling it in and I want the rice to come pretty close to the edges here. Okay, so just use your water as needed and you just want to press that down. We did make some shrimp tempura in one of our other sushi videos that we did, which I did not include this in this one just because this video was so long as it is. You guys, if you want to add any type of tempura type battered veggies or, you know, seafoods or whatever, it's awesome. It's really, really good. So, all right, and then I'm just going to cut my avocado. So I'm just cutting it the lengthways around the pit. And you just want to give it a twist. And then I just cut my avocado. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it into nice thin slices. And I'm just cutting it right inside of the peel. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and build our sushi rolls. So we're going to make this one with the seaweed on the outside. So I'm just adding in a piece of crab. Make sure you get all of the ingredients all the way up to the edge there. And then we're just going to cut that so that it fits. And you guys want to try to work towards the bottom of the sushi roll. Don't put it in the ingredients in the middle and don't overfill it either. You really need to kind of make a decision about what you want to put in the middle there. So, okay, and then we're just adding in a little bit of our tuna and then a little bit of our salmon. This surprised me so much how easy this process was. Sushi is one of those things that's kind of like a special occasion. You know, it is pretty pricey. And it's just something that you don't get to eat quite as often. So if you guys make it this way, you can eat it more often and it's really good for you. It's really healthy. There's a lot of, you know, good things going into the sushi. So I would definitely give this a try. If you haven't tried to make homemade sushi, it's really fun. All right. And then I'm just scooping out a few pieces of my avocado and I'm just going to stick that in there and try to keep everything in a pretty even layer. You want it to, you want it to be pretty evenly spaced out in there and stuff. So, all right. And then I'm just going to squirt in a little bit of our sriracha mayo. You guys, there is tons of different types of sauces and things that you can add into these. You could also chop up some of your tuna and mix it with some of the mayo and make sort of like a spicy tuna filling to put in the middle or, with the crab, anything really. All right, and then, so you want to sort of tuck everything down nice and tight, and you want the bottom of the sushi roll to kind of tuck underneath. So you can see how I'm sort of tucking it, and I'm going to go ahead and squeeze it really nice and tight right here. Okay, and then open it up and continue rolling and just kind of squeezing as you go. And you're going to have to kind of get a feel for this, okay? You might not get it on your first try, and you might get it on your first try. It wasn't really super difficult, though, so I think you guys will be fine with this. And like I said, it's a really fun thing to do. So it's a fun thing to do with your kids, too. I let my kids go ahead and help me with that. So just, again, make sure it's nice and tight. You can see it looked really pretty. And then to get the rice that is kind of poking out the sides there, just put your roll back on and just press that with your fingers. Just kind of press that back in. Make sure that you're holding it together with that bamboo mat, and make sure that you put that water on your hand as well, because it's still very sticky. Okay, and then just press it in, and that'll make sure that the ends look real pretty for you. You can eat every single piece of this delicious Absolutely delicious homemade sushi. All right, we're just giving it one more final squeeze, and that is our first roll. So you can see that's my seam down there, and it looks like sushi to me. All right, so we're going to do another one. So again, you see the shiny side and then the rough side. So we want to place the rice onto the rough side of the sushi. So I did get 2 sushi rolls out of this, but like I said, I do think I should have used a little bit less rice and maybe tried to get it a little bit thinner on there. So get your fingers nice and wet, spread the rice around. All right, it looks wonderful. I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle some sesame seeds. So I have some regular white sesame seeds, and I'm just going to sprinkle those on the rice. You guys can toast your sesame seeds if you want. They will taste a little bit more nuttier and flavorful if you toast them. And then I do have these black ones that are really, really pretty. So we're going to go ahead and just sprinkle some of those on our rice. And already this looks awesome. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, but make sure they're kind of evenly coated on there. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick this up and I'm just going to flip it over. And this rice is so sticky that it should just stick right on there. It shouldn't cause you guys any problems at all. Okay, and then we're just pressing that down a little bit. And I'm just gonna use the same filling. So I'm just adding in a little bit of our imitation crab, cut it to fit the sushi roll. You wanna work towards the bottom, don't forget. We're adding in some of our smoked tuna, and those sesame seeds add a little bit of flavor too. You guys could get teriyaki smoked salmon or tuna or whatever you guys want. You can add literally anything into this. So be creative, you know. All right, and then we're just throwing in some of our smoked salmon. Smoked salmon is fantastic on bagels with cream cheese. If you guys have any left over, it's a little idea that you can use it for. All right, and then we're just gonna scoop in some avocado. Get those in there nice and evenly. We're just going to throw in a little bit more of that spicy mayo. And then again, you just want to kind of squish everything in there. Fold that over. You can see it's folded over, and then you just want to squeeze it. Give it a nice squeeze just to get all of that stuff really pushed in there, really nice and tight. And then you continue to roll all the way to the end of your seaweed. And again, it's just kind of a roll and squeeze technique. Okay, there we go. How beautiful does that look? Looks just great and professional. You guys are gonna be rock stars if you serve this to somebody. They're gonna think you're just the best. All right, and then set it onto the edge, hold it, and press those ingredients in so you can get a nice clean looking edge there. You can see we're just pressing it so it's nice and flat. This mat is really helpful. And just scooch it on over to the other side. All right, you guys, and then when you're cutting your sushi, you want to be sure first of all that you have a long thin knife, okay? And you want to keep that water handy because you are going to want to keep your knife wet so that you get a nice clean cut each time that you cut the sushi. I am going to go ahead and put a few things on top here before we cut these. So I just have my other half of my avocado here, and I'm just going to peel this, peel the peel off of there. Peel the peel. Let's see, we got a gross spot there. That's okay though, it's not going to hurt anybody. Okay, so we just want to get all of the peel off. All right, and then we're just going to slice it into nice thin slices here. All right, so we have our first sushi roll. I'm just going to lay some smoked salmon across the top here. You guys, again, you can get really creative with the toppings and the different things that you add into these rolls, and also with the garnish, with the way that you decorate it. So, all right, so we just laid some really thin strips of the salmon, and then I'm just going to go ahead and sort of fan the avocado across the top here. This one was kind of messed up, so it didn't lay down as perfectly as it should have because it had that dark spot in it. But if you guys have a really, really nice avocado, it should lay down pretty good for you. On those parts you guys messed up on, you can just throw some spicy mayo over that. Nobody will ever even know. All right, and so then we're just gonna throw some saran wrap on top of the roll, and I'm gonna take my bamboo mat and I'm just gonna squeeze it and just kind of mold that avocado and salmon down onto the roll. So just get it on there nice and tight. You guys wanna leave the saran wrap down. Okay, leave the plastic wrap down over the roll. It's gonna make it a lot easier to cut the roll with the plastic wrap on, and you could even roll it all the way back up if you wanted to, but I didn't do that. All right, and so make sure your knife is wet and go ahead and cut it in half first. You're gonna be able to cut more even pieces if you cut it in half and then in half and then in half again. Okay, clean your knife off. Make sure that sticky rice is not on there, or that's going to pull it down and you're not gonna get a very clean cut that way. Okay, so then we're gonna cut that half in half on both sides. And again, clean off your knife, make sure that you keep it nice and wet. And then we're gonna cut each one of these halves in half again. So you should get 8 pieces out of your rolls if you're using this size of the seaweed paper. All right, and then you can just pull the plastic off and it should be all nice and cut up for you and perfect. Okay, and then we're just going to set this on our plate, and then we're just gonna get started on the second roll here. So this one I'm just gonna cut it up because it already looks really pretty. So I'm just getting my knife cleaned off a little bit, and again, you're gonna wanna cut this in half. And because this rice is so sticky, you don't need to put the saran wrap on this one. This one should cut just fine for you. It's really just when you put the avocado on the top that you gotta add that saran wrap on there. All right, and there is our sushi all plated up. It looks absolutely beautiful and it is so, so yummy. Then I'm just gonna take some of my spicy mayo and I'm just gonna go back and forth and just put a nice little pretty squirt on top of all of the sushi. And you guys can put more on the side if you want to for like dipping, and you can really decorate the plate any way you want. And then you can see how nice and thick and beautiful our eel sauce looks. Okay, so then I'm just gonna go ahead and drizzle that over the top of the sushi as well. Now this is looking absolutely delicious and totally professional. If you're a sushi lover, this is a must try. All right, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and garnish with a little bit of our black sesame seeds, a little bit of white sesame seeds, and then of course you have to have your ginger and your wasabi. You guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I really, really hope you guys give this recipe a try. It was really fun to make. It was super easy and it was absolutely fantastic. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't had the chance. Have a great day, and I will see y'all in my next video.